A coward dies 1,000 deaths. A soldier dies but once.
Notorious Victoria Erastus necessitas.
Welcome all, this is Blaezer RTW. I hope you are well. I am pretty good. Long hard day at work, so gonna chill out for an hour or so before I crack on with the paperwork. You join me for a 4v4. This is where it's all going to get very interesting because as I mentioned in the last week, I became Icarus, as it were, or I used the Icarus name for Brotherhood games, or after joining them. So you're going to see a lot more of these sort of games with players a lot better than myself. All eight in a big slog, plus lots more as well. I do still play the odd games here and there, the other stuff. Right, let's have a quick run through of the team. So on our left flank, we've got Spartan Commander. He's got 4 Sacred Band Cav, 3 Slingers, the rest Sacred Band Spears. They're going to be pretty tough. I would have thought that's to counter Pontus. Then we've got myself, who's got 6 Cav. I think, if I remember rightly, there's a couple of Light Auxilia in there instead of the V-Lights from a few battles ago, and then the rest of it's pretty standard. Then on the centre right is Gladius. He's got what looks to be 4 flanking urbans and then 10 in a more normal formation. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, they're tough. And then 6 Cav, nice. And then on the right flank is Legion 22. He's got a couple of levies in with a Royal Pike for his Peeler Shield, then a block of Royal Pikes, 5 Cretan Archers, and then a couple of Generals' Bodyguards. Let's go have a look at the opposition. So up against Legion on their left flank is Steve Longshanks, although I would have thought he'll still be happy to face Macedon. He looks like he was going to head off this way, but yeah, I think he's set up for Macedon. Then on their centre left, facing up against Gladius, is Kiki. He's got a nice wide formation there, with the next row ready to pull out for his peelers. How many Cav did he have? 5 Cav. Then on the centre right, so facing up to me at the moment, is Tut with Pontus. You can see he's got a couple of bronze shields wide. Then they're going to be his, the flankers, along with the, or this one over here on the left will be the flanking force, along with those 2 chariot archers and the 3 archers in behind. And then he must have 3 or 4 scythe chariots there. And then on their right is Titan Sparky. Good player in the top handful of players, definitely. I think it was proved recently as well that he won the 31k singles tournament, so well done to him. Beat me in the first round, but no shame in losing to the winner, that's what I say. He's gone, I think that's a 14-6, which is pretty tasty. Right, okay, so let's crack on. Actually, with all these games as it is, it takes a while. Unless someone's going to rush straight away, it's going to take a while for everyone to get set up. I'm a bit more forward than I should be, so I'm going to rush across to the centre here. Spartan Commander's going to come in and behind me, and then we've got the other 2 making their way over, and the same with them. So what I'll do, rather than build up the suspense and make you sit through it all, I will cut that there and come back in at a more opportune moment. Obviously, you know what's going to happen with these. The flanking force for Tut's going to come out this far, try and shoot up the try and shoot up this lot if they can. This spearman, and I'm sure they'll pick a nice target. It looks like they're going to come for a little cheeky dig at me, actually. So what I want to make sure doesn't happen is that I'm running away and they hit me. If I'm going to do anything, I'll turn it around so it faces them. Yeah, there you go. I've just turned it, so that should prevent the charge from coming in. He's going to go and make his way. And yeah, we're just going to face up. So I will see you in a second. Okay, right, and so it's all sort of vaguely where we are. Let's have a little rundown of what's happening. So as we thought, the flanking force and the scythe chariots has come out here to our left flank, along with his defenders for the archers there, his little anti-cav pike force there. Sparky's got his cav loitering with intent behind. I'm actually out on the left flank now, obviously, to marry up with Sparky. Carthage's main block is married up with Pontus's main block. Gladius is up against Kiki. And then Macedon's actually sat back a little bit. He's... Steve Longshanks will fancy a piece of him and their calves out on the right as well. Ours is pretty much just dotted behind me. Spartans' commanders will be hidden in here somewhere. Don't think the Macedonians bought any apart from those two little generals. These archers which are all having a go now. So, okay. Yeah, so... for those of you who sort of end up joining these lot who have been playing a lot longer than you, I mean, I'm assuming at least half the people here have been playing the game since it come out, like what's that, like 10 years ago, 15 years ago, something like that. At this stage, I've been playing about 8 months. I know Sparky is only a couple of years as well. I don't know about the others, but you can often find yourself becoming the target. You can see here how much heavy flanking they've got on this side. They probably, obviously on Rome as well, which helps. But yeah, if you're a sort of weaker player in inverted commas, or don't necessarily need the inverted commas, if you're just a weaker player or the weaker player on it, you can be pretty sure you're going to be targeted in one way or the other, especially if it's shock troops like Chariots, Germania, Britannia, blah 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 blah. The first few games you're going to get attacked basically. So get ready for it. But once you get into it, you can use that to your advantage in certain ways. So there we go. So nothing much going on the left apart from a bit of tit for tat with the skirmishing. Legion's got his the peeler, the open units there just to soak up all the peeler that's coming into him. I would have thought that Steve will want to engage these ones fairly quickly. He didn't even need to engage them, but just to rout them off. And then he's got either a clear run at Gladius's from the side, or Macedon, as he's doing, is going to have to move up and do something himself. So that's a good little tactic there. If you saw that, he rushed his urbans forward and then literally hit the cabin from the back, so whatever way they would have faced, they would have been hit. The other peeler unit is coming back now, which makes sense. At least let him, rather than get isolated, he can do what he's doing, which is shore up that side a little bit, just stop any easy flanking maneuvers. Okay, so Spartan commanders, slingers are getting nailed, the archers are getting nailed for them. Otherwise, pretty good. No one's given away too much yet. You can see Steve's retreated his cav behind. Now he's going to come for his flanking motion with his force. Kiki sending his cav out this way as well by the look of it. I'm just checking on what all the other cavs doing. They're all over here looking, obviously, for an opportunity. The good thing about having these 4 urbans here is that you can effectively leave them in a block, put them on guard mode, and if the chariots attack them from the front, they won't rout with the chariots or rout. But I'm sure Tut knows what he's doing. He's not going to do that, so he's going to try and circumnavigate on which he's doing. Ideally, we could be doing with the same motif as what they've got, as in this one pike unit just out the back. The trouble is that you're going to break one of the formations. But yeah, just one of them just strewn out here somewhere would be quite nice, just as a deterrent more than anything. But we got some action here in the centre. Sparky's moving his cav over from the left as we look at it. I don't know if he's going to go all the way, if he just sees an easy opportunity here. Is he going to come into the side of these engaged Brutii? No. I think he's coming all the way round for some reason. I guess they've got a call. Obviously, it's easier for us because we can block all our cav in this little section here, and any of us can help each other out at any one time. But with them, because they're being the aggressors, if you're attacking on this flank and suddenly something happens on the other flank, it's going to take you longer than it takes us to get our cav round there. So, got to be a bit careful. I'm guessing Sparky's going to split his cav. Yeah, he's going to leave 3 over there to just defend and hold up against me. what I could probably do with doing now, looking at it, now is probably either take off one of these peeler units, maybe the front one, or this guy here, he's on the back, and just go and knock out this one big unit of Pontus pikes we've got on the right hand, on the left hand side. That would probably do us a few favours there. Just take out the protection that he affords the cav, and then we can bump along into Sparky's cav. Now they're split. The chariots would be in by that point, but that should bring them close enough to any archers that we've got left. So you can see Steve's being aggressive and moving up on Macedon. The Brutii sent one guy in there. Looking at what's happening to him now, with 9 lots of cav and the full army going through, he wants to be a little bit careful because obviously they could rout off, but if you remember, they had 8 upgrades. They had the 2 experience stripes as well, some of them, so they might hold their own. Here on the back left, I think you're keeping an eye on all of it, so you can see that the Julii sent in some urbans to take out this loose unit. The Brutii came in with his cav, and now Julii has now surrounded him with his cav. Let's just pause that for a second. We'll have a little look. So yeah, so Urban went into the Royal Pike on the front. Brutii cav come in, Julii cav come in, and then it looks like there's a couple of urbans sent into the back of there now. So he needs to get his cav out of the way. You can see the scythe chariots are coming in from the back. Spartan commanders. Looks like he's going to come over and give me a hand. That's because I've sent all my cav in. They've actually retreated now, but I'm going to try and just smash into some of these urbans and just take them out with a full-blown strike if I can. Not, like 6 units of cav into that one there, even though he's got 50, I'll probably rout him off, even maybe one of the second 2 if I do it quite well. This urban's still blocking him off from the Julii. The Brutii is blocking off the Julii there. Macedon's broken his formation just to make it not so much of a corner between him and Carthage. I would assume he's going to drop his pikes down and back up the Brutii, preventing any more cav charges from the front. As you can see, I'm going to hit that whole Macedon. Sparky's bringing his back. Carthage and the Pontic main infantry is back, and I've just moved up and faced up to Sparky's infantry now. Obviously, because we're getting attacked on this end, what I want to do is kind of really hit them, face up and push on as we're looking at it, so that as we look at it, our line's a bit straighter, because we want to be careful we don't get backed into a corner. So I hope you can keep an eye on all of it. Watch my cav in the centre, which will probably go in and then I'll get countercharged, so just keep an eye on that. Or I'll go in and then the scythe chariots will all be waiting for me here. See what Spartan Commander's going to do with his. It looks like they're actually going to, although the flags are at this end, it looks like that's the back of them, and they're going to go for the scythe chariots. And then just this corner here. So I think about there, we should be able to keep an eye on it. Also, let's rock and roll. So you can see my cav's gone in now. I actually went for the cav. I've remembered that Sparky's not used all of his cav, so I've sent mine over to the left to look for it. Looks like some of the Brutii cavs starting to get routed off, which isn't surprising. He's surrounded on 3 times, 3 sides. The Spartan commanders hit one of the side chariots. That's pretty good. We could do with taking out this other one here, which my guys are just going to run straight into. Yeah. You can see Kiki is not going for a charge on the whole lot again. Looks like, oh no, you can see the Brutii is bringing his lines back, so that's pretty good. His best troops are still there, they can freshen up. He's got his flanking forces now come over here to this side and is just behind the Macedon pikes. Going to make a full envelopment of the Julii, hoping that the Brutii cav holds up. Kiki sent his cav out here now to back him up. I could do with probably bringing my cav over this side, or really going for Sparky now because he's moving his cav over. I need to bump my infantry up and do what they did to Gladius, or bring my cav over and help out the Brutii over here, which it doesn't look like I'm doing, so I'm a little bit slow. Probably, you know what I mean, it's one of them things, first game in a 4v4 where, everyone's a certain standard and been playing for years and that, so probably worried a bit. Looks like they're down to 2 scythe chariots in the back now, unless they're the archers. Oh yeah, they're the archers. So it looks like the scythe chariots have gone. Pontus has moved his army up against me. In comes the second half of Sparky's cav. Macedon's made some good defensive formation against Kiki's Julii in the centre. Looks like Sparky's going to send his other cav into the side over here. I'm not sure what he's going for because it's pikemen. I think he's just going to line them up, and that looks to me like a bit of an angle coming into my side there, my peeler unit. So he'll probably do a little sweep there, which I'm not too worried about because my cav's perfectly positioned for that. So yeah, go for it. you can see this right flank now. You can see where it got really messy with the big, like, it's not a straight line, it's a windy line. There's some Bruti out here on the right. Those Urbans really held up well, that flanking force. In comes Sparky's Cav. I've just gone in for a cheeky dig, and then he's come in and done me. Was that all my Cav? No, I sent some after the chariots to take out the chariots, which probably wasn't the best idea. I need to get them back in the game now. I didn't actually lose too much Cav though, looking at it, so that was pretty good. Macedon's done quite well. He's now got his line there. He hasn't got anything in reserve to plug any holes. Luckily, the Brutio's on his right flank, bringing in more. Look at that. I thought he was down to nothing a minute ago, but he's got like 6 units there. So they held up really well against that big charge. You can see the Kiki's actually flanking Macedon now, because Thingy's over there. The Brutio's over there. I really need to send 2 of my units in, take out the back of these guys, and then whack them with the Cav. Looks like I'm facing up Sparky's Cav on the right. Who's that Cav? Anyway. Cav and Urbans. You see Sparky's broken his formation now with his Urbans, and he's bringing them all out to try and flank all of us. I need to marry him up with it, really. I need to bring 2 here into this gap. I need to take 2 to 4 around the flank, and then start hitting these pikes from the right as Carthage pushes on through the middle. So it looks like the Brutio won this flank now, and there's not a lot there. So they're going to start rolling this up from right to left. Let's pause this a second, just because it's quite finely poised. I didn't want to use that word because I said paused a minute ago, but it was the right word to use. My cow's pretty depleted. It's still got enough there to give a good whack though. So over here, yeah, you can see Sparky's done really well. He's actually lengthened his line to marry up with the full Pontic ones. I guess they'll move forward. I could do with doing the same, probably move in this guy here well out to the left to marry up with this one. I've got a couple more units, and then I've actually got my 6 best units still in reserve. So I'm not doing too bad, but I'm not doing a lot either, if you see what I mean. We want to watch out for this. Carthage is moving up now, so I'm not going to get charged from the front right from Sparky just yet. Is that Kiki's Cav there? Yeah, there's Kiki's Cav all the way on the right there. Looks like Steve Longshanks is actually been taken out. Okay, so let's crack on. So we just want to keep an eye on this lot rolling them up from the right, just to see if they get Cav charged with this lot or whether they manage to do it and they all fall back behind Pontus. Let's have a quick look and see what goes on. So, yeah, as I said, I'm looking good. I still got 3 units in reserve. My 3 forward units look pretty full, and I've got at least 1 peeler unit there, plus 2/3 of my Cav, 3/4 of my Cav. So I'm not doing too bad, but that's just because I've just been sat there doing nothing. You can see, and this is often a dead giveaway, although what it is that I was just about to say, obviously I want to be shadowing Sparky, but he's moved because Spartan Commander's moved, so it is me against Pontus here. I really want to be aggressive on him now, although there are those 4 Urbans at the back just to stop me actually, rolling him over. Sparky's got all his Cav married up at the back. I could do with bringing mine to about here just to marry up with him. Looks like I'm going to try and take out his 2 units at the front now, just to clear them out of the game, but he won't worry too much about that. Yeah, I could definitely do with probably retreating my army back actually and lining up against Spartan commanders here, just so there's not this gap in the middle, though he's plugged the gap really well. In comes Sparky's Cav. He's surely not going to go for a hit on the Carthaginians. No, he stopped them, that's good. Pontus has sent a couple of pikes over to slow the progress up here on the right. My Cav's just resting up, although it's fresh. So, yeah, there you go. I have moved one though, so it looks like I'm going to do something with him. Yeah, I've moved up on the left-hand side now. So I'm going to try and push my way through Pontus a little bit. So, yeah, it looks a little bit tight down here, but I think once one of them goes, they'll all go. What's this in the back? Yeah, I need to be sending 2 Urbans over here at least and taking these 2 out. Although Gladius can do them if one. Looks like actually what I'm going to do is send my Cav over. I know that'll be all right because he'll have to raise his pikes to come through the back, or he'll have to go all the way around the side. That's pretty good. That just clears a little pain in the ass that they had. He's in a testudo though, I think, by the look of it, so he'll actually take a proper whack to rout him. But at least that routs off some of them. That's going to weaken the morale of the others around. So can see they're all starting to retreat now. Gladys is doing quite well. His urbans are sticking around quite light. Here comes their big assault on my left-hand flank. So I need to be really careful now because I think they realise this side's lost. And yeah, you can see the Pontic general was over there, but he's come back pretty quick. So I'm just in my only mission now is just to stay alive until these lot wrap him up. So he probably could have gone for a good hit on me then, because it doesn't look like I would have seen it. But you know, I've got some urbans on the way over now. They're going to back me up nicely. So I'm out. Oh yeah. Sorry, I did move 2 of them out. So I'm probably just going to back my lines up so that if he wants to take me out, he'll have to come after me. Not a lot doing around here. We've got a Julii in Testudo, Royal Pikefolk and Urban Cohort. All these lot are in Testudo now. They will slowly get taken out, but it breaks all the formation. But what the thing about the beauty about the blob, as I call it, where you're not sort of pushing up a line, you're pushing up a blob of pikes, is that, you know, they sort of fight on all sides. So yeah, in comes the flanking motion. He's going to tie up 2 of my units there. I could probably do with just stretching them out, making them a little bit thinner and wider, just so I take out the 3 of them. Looks like I'm actually going to try and tie them down though, so yeah, that could be interesting on that side. I've got a Macedon unit coming to back me up though, so that's pretty good, although yeah, I could have done with him coming right out to the left, but he won't want to face 2 urbans on his own, so that's probably why. Slowly making our way through to the Pontic infantry, which has had to open itself up now. So to my eye, most of them are all, you know, there's not a blob of armies, you know, there's no units sort of that are spare. Just Sparky's got 2 or 3 here that he's flanking with. And I've got one, my general, that's not engaged at the moment. So they got me hook, line and sinker there. Do you see that? Steve Longshanks came in with a bit of his cav into one of the archers. That made me chase my cav in, and then they all just hit me. So yeah, be careful for that. My cav is pretty well upgraded though, so as long as they can just hold there, I'm quite happy just to put them on alt attack and just let them sit there. Although I should be throwing some urbans over because he's got 2 or 3 urbans there, so my cav's going to die. But hopefully not so long that these guys haven't done what they need to do. Although the quick flanking action has suddenly turned into quite a long-winded thing, so that proves their defense has been pretty good and they're tying down units. Just trying to see where we're likely to push through, or they're likely to push through. I'm quite close to my general there, and there's quite a few of them, so it might take a lot to rout them off. Hopefully, yeah, if Macedon can drop his pikes there, that would be lovely. I've got some cav coming from the back. Oh yeah, my cav did survive a lot of it. See that? Yeah, that's pretty good. I don't mind that. So I'm going to come in and take some cheap shots and just keep their eye at this end to stop the full flanking motion. Sparky obviously wants to come and flank my general and get him to rout, and then that will cause a massive chain rout on this side. I'm going to hit this general from the back on the right hand side. Sparky's general, knock him down. Come on, let's get him down to the teens. Yeah, he's down to 15, so he lost a big old load of troops there, his general. So one more whack on his general in his go. Oh, he has just gone there, so that's pretty good. Yeah, not bad. There's a couple of Pontic pikes that were chasing something off that's come back. I can see a lot of urbans in the back that have been chasing things off. They could do with coming back. We could do with that backup. Couple of Sparky's units are coming in from the back. Kiki just charged right into the Royal Pikes at the wrong time. I guess they were chasing those urbans, the Sacred Bang, sorry. I'm bringing my cav around the back. I want to help the guys out. My urbans are pretty much look after themselves now. It's about where can I do the most damage. Ideally, that Pontic general looks like he's looking for a good whack. I probably would have been on a better angle then, because I would have come in from there at him and smashed him. But yeah, I'll break off one of them. That's so good. Send in the other 2, force him to either turn his pikes and get battered from the back, or let me smash him from the back. We've gone in. I'm hoping just the weight of the numbers will start off a little bit of a chain route there. It hasn't done just yet. Okay. Right, so yeah, I need to turn my general around and sort out some of these units, tie up these, but that looks a bit 50-50 to me on that side. This end's a bit more intense. You can see now, this is a good thing to do, is to regroup every now and again and just bring units back and just set them up and get yourself a defensive line, because too often you can sort of get caught out and then everything ends up everywhere. You don't know where anything is. So Sparky looks like he's trying to regroup his units. He's thrown one in against mine that was stopping him getting into the back of us there. My cav's going into the back of the unengaged Pontic infantry, which isn't the best idea. What would be best for me now is to bring this all the way around here to this right-hand side and then just run up the line of those 3 Julii against that general, and that won't take too long for them to go. Okay, so there's some chariot archers at the back. Sparky's got a couple, he's bringing those 2 units back. Gladius has got a couple of cav there. Kiki's got a couple of units. So they've probably got 4 or 5 urbans. What have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 urbans and then 3 half-fit royal pikes, not even that quarter fit. These guys are slowly chasing off that lot there. That's pretty good. Come on, if I can just route off these 2 because I've got him behind them before the others turn up. Nice. So now I want to turn around, face them with the urbans, take my cav route at the back, and then just smash into them from the back quickly just to route them off. Looks like I am doing that, but I'm not giving myself enough of a charge up. Macedon could do with giving me a hand and just chuck in his pikes against those pikes because they'll hold them up really easily. Well, not easily, but easily enough. And yeah, so still a few people out and doing, not doing too much, but yeah, it looks like it's just down to these ones now. And that's that. Right then. Yeah, I pause this now just so we can have a quick look. Because what actually happens is instead of there being an end screen on this one with all the kills, it just crashes my computer, so I don't even know if it'll crash fraps or not. I guess we'll find out in a second. I wasn't going to put it on. I don't normally put them on if they don't finish, but I just thought because this is the first game with me in the Brotherhood as a 4v4, I couldn't not put it on. Didn't do too badly, didn't do a lot, but did enough, I guess. I think I'd call that a win for us, only just though. It's a pity we can't see the screen because obviously it looks like it was damn close. But yeah, you can just see the mess of the battlefield. It's all in a big circle all here rather than one big nice line. But, we like them like that sometimes. So, yeah, good game to everybody. Enjoyed that one. Yeah, it is what it is. There'll be plenty more of them to come. So yeah, we'll see what happens. I think it's one of the generals' death it dies on. I'm guessing this guy over here getting taken out by Carthage. Yeah, there he is. And there he goes. And yeah, I can't do anything now. I'm pressing escape, right clicking, left clicking, all this, that, and yeah. The only thing I can do is Control Alt Delete, and that did the act. So yeah, good games. See you later.
Follow me, Blaezer.